This. Ooh, I just want to make sure this is going. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Hello, everybody. Hello again. Welcome to Faith Night Friday. As you know, we are still in Samuel, 1 Samuel. I know I haven't been singing. And I know I haven't been, I haven't been reading some of the, I think it's some of the Psalms, but I'll try to get back into that. Okay, so right now, last week, when I was on Samuel, we were on Samuel 14. I forgot to circle it. I always try to circle it this way, I'll know what I was on. And I know that was a lot. We we read a lot. That was one lengthy chapter. So we are now on 15. And I had to start reading again because it's already, I already read up to 21, but we are now on 15. So I'm going to circle that now before I forget. This one is not as lengthy, so we should be okay. Okay, so let's just jump right into it, okay? So, let's see, make sure this is running. Yeah. Okay, so we are still with Samuel. We are still with Saul. King David, or David. I won't call him king yet because he hasn't really been, we haven't dealt with him yet, but he's coming into the scene very, very, very soon. Okay, so the title to this part, and we are 1 Samuel 15, War Against the Amalekites. Okay, so we're just going to jump in. Samuel said to Saul, I am the one whom the Lord sent to anoint you king of the people of Israel. Now listen to what the Lord Almighty says. He is going to punish the people of Amalek because their ancestors opposed the Israelites when they were coming from Egypt. Go and attack the Amalekites and completely destroy everything they have. Don't leave a thing. Kill all the men, women, children. That's fierce. Fierce. And babies. Ouch. The cattle, sheep, camels, and donkeys. Saul called his forces together and inspected them at Telem. There were 200,000 soldiers from Israel and 10,000 from Judah. Then he and his men went to the city of Amalek and waited in ambush in a dry riverbed. He sent a warning to the Canaanites, a people whose ancestors had been kind to the Israelites when they came from Egypt. Go away and leave the Amalekites so that I won't kill you along with them. So the Canaanites left. Saul defeated the Amalekites, fighting all the way from Havilah to Shur, east of Egypt. He captured King Agag and Amalek alive and killed all the people. But Saul and his men spared Agag's life and did not kill the best sheep and cattle, the best calves and lambs, or anything else that was good. They destroyed only what was useless or worthless. Saul is rejected as king. The Lord said to Samuel, I am sorry that I have made Saul king. He has turned away from me and disobeyed my commands. Samuel was angry, and all night he pleaded with the Lord. Early the following morning he went off to find Saul. He heard that Saul had gone to the town of Carmel where he had built a monument to himself, and then had gone on to Gilgal. Samuel went up to Saul, who greeted him, saying, "The Lord bless you, Samuel. I have obeyed the Lord's command." Samuel asked, "Why then do I hear cattle mooing and sheep bleating?" Saul answered, "My men took them from the Amalekites. They kept the best sheep and cattle to offer as a sacrifice to the Lord your God, and the rest we have destroyed completely." "Stop," Samuel ordered, "and I will tell you what the Lord said to me last night." "Tell me," Saul said. Samuel answered, "Even though you consider yourself of no importance, you are the leader of the tribe of Israel. The Lord anointed you king of Israel, and he sent you out with the order to destroy those wicked people of Amalek. He told you to fight until you had killed them all. Why then did you not obey him? Why did you rush to grab the loot and so do what displeases the Lord?" "I did obey the Lord," Saul replied. "I went out as he told me to, brought back King Agag, and killed all the Amalekites. But my men did not kill the best sheep and cattle that they captured. Instead, they brought them here to Gilgal to offer as a sacrifice to the Lord your God." Samuel said, Which does the Lord prefer, obedience or offerings and sacrifices? And it is better to obey him than to sacrifice the best sheep to him. Rebelling against him is as bad as witchcraft, and arrogance is as sinful as idolatry. Because you rejected the Lord's command, he has rejected you as king. "Yes, I have sinned," Saul replied. "I disobeyed the Lord's command and your instructions. I was afraid of my men and did what they wanted. But now I beg you, forgive my sins, forgive my sin, and go back with me to Gilgal so that I can worship the Lord." "I will not go back with you," Samuel answered. "You rejected the Lord's command, and he has rejected you as king of Israel." And then Samuel turned to leave, but Saul caught hold of his cloak, and it tore. Samuel said to him, "The Lord has torn the kingdom of Israel away from you today, and given it to someone who is a better man than you. Israel's majestic God does not lie or change his mind. He is not a man. He does not change his mind." I have sinned," Saul replied, "but at least show me respect in front of the leaders of my people and of all Israel. Go back with me so that I can worship the Lord your God." So Samuel went back with him to Gilgal, and Saul worshiped the Lord. It's funny how he said, "And I can worship the Lord your God." He didn't say my God. He said your God. Like, isn't he supposed to be your God too? I just found that weird. "Bring King Agag here to me," Samuel ordered. Agag came to him, trembling with fear, thinking to himself, "What a bitter thing it is to die." Samuel said, As your sword has made many mothers childless, so now your mother will become childless." And he cut Agag to pieces in front of the altar in Gilgal. Then Samuel went to Ramah, and King Saul went home to Gibeah. As long as Samuel lived, he never again saw the king, but he grieved over him. The Lord was sorry that he made Saul king of Israel. Now, there was a lot said there, so it's like your real intentions wasn't like really to be a king anyway, but they chose you anyway. It wasn't like you were the best. Like it didn't really mean much to you. It wasn't really a great concern of you being king. So all the times that he was always doing his own thing and always disobeying. But and that hurt the Lord, because it's like it's more important for you to obey than for you not to obey. I'm sorry, I just got... It's my grandson's birthday, and they're celebrating his birthday at the school. I'll watch the video in a minute. So yeah, what did he say? Which does the Lord prefer, obedience or offerings and sacrifices? It is better to obey him than to sacrifice the best sheep to him. Rebellion against him is as bad as witchcraft, and arrogance is as sinful as idolatry. That is something to remember. I am going to write those verses down. So whenever you, because I do that a lot. Every time I read something, and I read something that's trying to speak to me, I always like underline it or put a parentheses around it so that I can go back later and look at it. Like what are the one that I wrote? The Lord has torn the kingdom of Israel away from you today and given it to someone who is a better man than you. Ouch! That had to hurt. That had to hurt. And of course, we know that. Of course, it was given to King David. But we'll see how that all unfolds. And let's go over here to. I was just itching. To Samuel, 1 Samuel 15. So God's orders were clear, but Saul's motives were mixed. Look at the losses Saul incurred because he disobeyed God's word. He lost his character, for he lied to Samuel and tried to blame the people. Saul was very, very good at excuses. He lost his friend Samuel, who has anointed him, taught him, and prayed for him. He lost the crown. He lost his crown. God took the kingdom from Saul and gave it to David. Saul had many advantages as he began his reign, but he failed God and the people because he did not cultivate his spiritual life and became proud. He feared men. He feared men rather than God. I don't know what this is. Hello? He's not available at the moment. Can you call at a different time, please? You're going to have to give me a minute. Hold on. Okay, what's the number? Is it 864? 6000? Oh. Okay. And your name? Okay, thank you. All right, bye-bye. I don't even know how I got that paper in there, but okay, sorry about that. You know, sometimes you just got to take some calls. They're important. So rather than God, he blamed others for his own sins, and he was concerned more about his reputation than about his character. He tried to substitute sacrifice for obedience, but God rejected him. Is there a king Agag in your life? Obedience, not sacrifice. So God's people face the constant temptation of substituting religious rituals for spiritual reality. Samuel's words did not belittle sacrifices, rather they point out that the condition of the heart determines the value of the sacrifice. God is not enriched by our gifts, but we are enriched by enriched if our gifts to him are backed by obedient hearts. He accepts the worship only if he can accept the worshiper. And that is very interesting. That's true, though. I do believe that. Okay. So, that's it for that. I did want to speak a little bit only because I just took some notes down because everything that's happening in Israel today, and at first I wasn't understanding who Hamas was and why were they attacking Israel and what's going on. But I don't want to say too much on it because if you really do look back at history, even as we were reading Samuel, as we are reading, and as we read in Judges, the Philistines and Israel were always rivals, and I have an itch in my ear. And if you could see, Israel was always getting themselves in trouble, and every time God had to rescue them, and then they would be good for a few decades or whatever. Then they do it again. So sometimes I feel like we're in that time where we're actually living biblical prophecy, like we're seeing it unfold right before our eyes. Like I said, when it comes, you have Jewish people against Jewish people. That's crazy to me. But if you could understand, not knowing the word, and not caring about the word, that's one thing. That's totally one thing. But you knowing the word, and like Saul not doing the word, and you're in great more danger than the ones who don't know and who are not doing it. Now, it's going to come to a point where obviously Israel is going to have to face the judgment of God eventually for what's going on right now. Do I agree with everything that they're doing? Yeah, I mean, how can you not help your neighbor? That's your neighbor. I don't, that it's like me not caring about my neighbor if they were going through a struggle or something. So I don't care. That's something they're going to have to deal with God with that one. It's hard, but all I can say is that it pray for Israel regardless. I mean, right now it's a great time. Not that it's a great time, but it's a great advantage for you to pray and for Israel, because regardless, it's part of the grand story. It's part of the grand masterpiece of the God has put it together in life. It's part of it. So whether we want to agree or not agree, the ultimate judgment is God's, not ours. So we just need to pray. It hurts. It's heartbreaking, of course. But we have to know that right is right and wrong is wrong. For our sake, let's just continue to pray for peace for Israel. And and peace for the Philistines or whatever, I feel sorry for the ones who are in it and it's not their fault. How can you blame a child? How can you blame an 11-year-old? And they're seeing their whole city being bombed. It's crazy. It's crazy. But it hurts. It hurts a lot. But you just praying for peace, and you praying for the nation that God chose is to your advantage. You will get blessed from it. Yeah, it's a mess. It's a big mess. So just, just continue praying that this thing will end and that it will end soon. It's scary, but it's something that we're seeing unfold right before our eyes. It's scary, but all in all, it's just a part of the whole thing. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna leave you with that, and I don't even know what the heck. I'm trying to keep time on everything, so let me just check. Yeah, so thank you so much for coming by. And like a fish in a sea, so glad you caught me. And I will be talking more about this. I just took some quick notes because I was like, let's see what Psalms has to say. I'm just curious to see what Psalms has to say. Because sometimes, believe it or not, it goes hand in hand. We're on 6, 7. We're on 6. So we're on 8. And God's glory and man's dignity. So we're on 8. I'm just gonna write down 8. Oh wait, I think we did 8. So we're on 9. Let's go to 9 real quick. Oh, look at this. Thanksgiving for justice. I will praise you, Lord, with all my heart. I will tell of all the wonderful things you have done. I will sing with joy because of you. I will sing praise to you, Almighty God. And my enemies turn back when you appear. They fall down and die. You are fair and honest in your judgments, and you have judged in my favor. You have condemned the heathen and destroyed the wicked. They will be remembered no more. Our enemies, I'm only going to read half because this is a long one. I'll read the half next week. Our enemies are finished forever. You have destroyed their cities, and they are completely forgotten. But the Lord is king forever. He has set up his throne for judgment. He rules the world with righteousness. He judges the nations with justice. So I'll just say 9.5, and then I'll read the other half. Again, it's not for us to say, how his whole plan, it's a little confusing, but at the end of the day, that's why he chose the Gentiles, because he knew, even though some people don't want to do their part, he knew somebody else would, and we're in that situation where we're playing that part. Okay, guys, so I have to go, and we will catch you. So we will see you next week on Faith Night Friday. Okay, guys, have a good weekend. Bye-bye.